Okay, so now that I've got my triangle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a regular piece of type paper that's 8.5 by 11, okay? And I'm going to tape it inside here. It has to be all the way inside the triangle. It just barely fits in there, okay? And you can do this either vertically or horizontally. I do not care, right? But whatever you do, it has to stay inside the triangle. So I've got a little tape here. I'm going to use just a little bit of it to fit this thing just barely inside here. The tape that I'm using is called Artist's Tape. It is a little bit less sticky than masking tape. You could use some masking tape too. What I'd say is just be careful when you're sticking that down on there, because when you take it off, it might actually rip it. You don't want to rip your piece of paper, because you might end up using this piece of paper again. Okay? Now, believe it or not, this is our prep for another piece of paper where we're going to blow this up, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box, a 3-point perspective box, on this piece of paper that stays inside the bounds of the 8.5 by 11 type paper, right? So I'm going to start by drawing the front Y or front corner of my box. Can you see it? I think you can see it, okay? That's my front corner of my box. I'm going to draw the top of the box. I'm trying to make this as large as I can inside this piece of type paper. Now, I did this with the strings the other day, if you will recall. I'm going to do it now on this piece of paper. So now I've got the top plane. A person can stand on that. And I've got the first vertical that's coming down there. Every line that I draw has to go to one of these 3 vanishing points. Okay, going off of now all 4 corners down to my Z vanishing point. I'm taking this down. One, 2, 3, 4. Can you see them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, you can. Yes, you understand. Okay? I'm going to take this all the way down to as close to the bottom of this thing as I can. Okay? One. Whoops, lost a clip. I told you there would be very low production value. I was not lying. I was telling the truth. Bring this down so that those 2 meet. Oh, that clip has gone. This is wanting to move around a little. No big deal. Okay. Now, if I've done everything correctly, these two should meet up. Why aren't they meeting up? It's off slightly. So I want to look around, see where I didn't carry the two. It turns out that as you move around a form, you can get something like that where it's just slightly off, and that can be super annoying. The thing is, the larger we go on this, the bigger that we get, the less that's going to matter. The thing that I notice is that this, I'm coming kind of from the top of where that point is. And if I bring it down here a little bit, it pretty much connects. I guarantee if you go around that form, that sometimes you're going to have something like that that happens. It's just like when you're making a golf shot, a little bit of a, slight little change in the angle at one place can make a big difference by the time you get over to the other side. Anyways, don't sweat it if it's slightly off like that, okay? All right, so I got my box, 3-point perspective. Check it out. It's on my piece of paper. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap a string around it all 3 ways. I showed you this right before we left. You've forgotten all about it because you had what started out as a fun spring break turned into a coronavirus nightmare, and then there was an earthquake, and who knows what else happened. This will be a spring break to remember, assuming that we all survive to remember it. Please survive to remember it. That is the most important assignment that I can give you. Check it out. All right. I went from corner to corner, corner to corner, corner to corner on all 3 of the front planes, okay? Now what I'm going to do is, again, going back to my vanishing points, through that center point of the diagonals,